Hi yogis. This practice will be focusing on standing postures. So I invite you to first begin by laying down. So we know we are going to be spending the majority of our time standing on our feet or balancing on one foot. So let's begin by letting our body weight come down and be cradled by the earth. So I'll join you down on my mat. If you have a yoga mat, that's great. If you don't, that's great too. It doesn't really matter. Just finding a little bit of softness under the body and possibly a little grip for the hands if we do a little bit of flowing and things like that. So keep that in mind wherever you are. And we'll bring ourselves onto our backs, stretching out the legs nice and long. Kind of tucking in the shoulders a little bit to allow the hands to roll open, the thumbs to roll away from the body. Maybe we step the feet or the legs wider, as wide as the mat, make lots of space for yourself. Spread out the body and distribute the body weight evenly, as even as we are able to. If our low back to begin with needs a little bit of helping hand or a little bit of love, feel free to bend the knees and let the feet walk out a little bit wider. The knees will fall together like a tent shape, and you'll have a little bit of support there. You won't have to spend any time thinking about keeping up those knees. So if this position works for you, feel free to support that low back. If we'd like to extend the legs, extend them out wide, let the feet fall away. Close our eyes and just take a moment to breathe, to connect with the breath. Thinking of the concept of standing up, standing upright, and how long in evolutionary theory and practice it took us to be standing upright. And even in the processes of being born, we're not born standing up on our feet. We're born with a curvature in our spine. We're rounded in a little fetal position. And then we start to find the weight of the head. We start to find the curve of the neck. The spine starts to change with us as we start to discover our bodies. So let's take some time here knowing that, remembering that it, in the beginning, took time to find a standing pose, to find ourselves on our feet. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose here. And just enjoying that flow in and out through the body. Perhaps we imagine taking the inhale from the crown of the head through the body. Inhale through the crown of the head. Send it through the body and exhale through the toes or through the feet and the legs. Perhaps the other way, visualizing that breath coming in through the feet, through our base, breathing in through the feet, drawing that air up through the body, and exhaling through the crown of the head. Just find those energy channels in and out, flow in and out. And as we inhale, let's breathe into the upper chest, into our upper rib cage, the toppest of the top of the rib cage. Inhale. Exhale to pull the belly in down toward the ground. Keep that kind of lift away from the hip bones. The rib cage has gained a little bit of space. The in-between portion of the body, that core, is lifted and created space. So let's maintain that lift. Yet find a softness in the exhale. So breathing in through the upper chest, expanding the heart, and exhale to scoop the belly in. Feel some length in the belly, some space in the lower belly, and maybe all the way into the pelvis. And just a couple breaths like that, in through the upper chest. Feel the belly get drawn in toward the earth, toward the back of the body, toward the spine. And on our next inhale, start to walk the heels a little closer to each other. Start to point the toes and reach our arms overhead. Point the toes away from the fingers away from the toes, and find just a really long stretch. Stay for another breath. Feel the tension. Reach as far as you possibly can. Lift the rib cage. And then exhale to bend the elbows. Let the toes fall away from each other and release. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, reach the fingers away from the toes, lengthen the legs, lengthen the arms. Inhale. Exhale, bend the elbows, let the toes fall away from each other, the feet peel open, the palms raise up to the ceiling. Beautiful. Start walking our feet over toward the left side of the mat, or over toward the left side of the body, creating a little bow shape on the outside of the right side of the body. Maybe crossing the right ankle over our left thigh. And if this feels really nice here, I invite you to stay here. Otherwise, if we'd like to sort of point the crown of the head toward the same direction as the feet. So imagine if you were a little bird flying over top of your own body, or in a little banana shape or a little curve. So I'm just going to wiggle that crown over. We can keep the arms overhead if you'd like to keep that open chest. You can also cup the hands or hold onto our wrists if you'd like that little bit of link like you did with the ankles. So we'll just take a moment here, maybe leaning the head to the side, to the left side. And just enjoy this really passive stretch. Feeling that length and openness on the right side. Feeling that bit of gathering on the left side. Relax the body, and we'll take a couple more breaths here. Allow the exhale to bring magic, to bring peace to the body, to feel a little heavier. You can have the eyes open or closed at any time. Take another breath in here. And exhale, let it go. Soften. Let's bring ourselves back to the center. Let's first bring the crown of the head, or bring the head, wiggle it back over, wiggle the shoulders back over, and then we'll walk the feet to the center. Open up the arms like we did before. Lengthen out the fingertips, lengthen out the arms, lengthen out the legs, point the toes and fingers. A big breath in to find length. And an exhale to bend the elbows and rest, walking the feet and the legs over toward the right side. So go as far as you like to go, maybe matching how far you went on the left side, crossing the left ankle over the right ankle. And taking a moment here to feel it out. And maybe starting to wiggle ourselves, our crown points in the same direction as our toes, or in a sort of bow shape or banana shape. Again, maybe cupping the hands or holding the wrists, just to give yourself a little link. Maybe leaning the head to the side if that feels nice to tuck it in. And feeling that openness on the left side this time. Really let the body relax down. Just a nice passive way to stretch the body. Easeful way to open up. In through the nose, out through the nose. And one more, inhale. Let it go. Let's walk ourselves back toward the center. Walk the feet. Bring the crown back over. Wiggle yourself out. Reach the arms over the crown. Reach the toes beyond our body. Find some length. Big inhale. And exhale to bend the elbows. We'll start to walk the feet in, finding the feet touching down, the knees bent. Maybe walking the feet a little wider and just finding a little windshield wipe side to side. Beautiful. Crossing the ankles, let's rock ourselves up to a seated shape. So if you'd like to rock, or if you'd like to roll to your right side and then push yourself up, that's up to you. You can roll ourselves back up, coming into a cross-legged seat, and we'll just take a sun breath here. Inhale, arms up. Exhale through the heart center. Walking ourselves forward, coming into all fours. So planting the palms, uncrossing those ankles. Let's find ourselves in an all four shape, a tabletop shape. The wrists under shoulders, the knees under hips, pressing the ground away to feel lots of room to breathe in the upper chest. Exhale to scoop the belly in, just feel that length in the belly, structure in the back. Inhale through the upper chest. And exhale to bring that belly in toward the spine. press the ground away. Inhale to peel the tail up. To drop the belly down, pull the ground toward you to lift the chin and chest, curving up the spine. Inhale. Exhale to tuck the tail in, push the ground away from you to round the spine and tuck the chin. Exhale. Inhale, the tail comes up, the belly drops, we pull the ground toward ourselves to lift. And then exhale to curve the tail in to round the spine and tuck the chin. Let's do 2 more cat-cows at our own pace, feeling the curve of the spine. So we're going to take care of everything in between, the juiciness, suppleness of the spine, a little bit of a tension, and curve it back in, round, push into the ground. Coming back to a neutral spine on our inhale, take a moment to breathe here. Planting nice and firm into our palms, tucking the toes to lift the hips up and back, press into the pads of the fingers, the fingerprints, the edges of the hand, the pads of the hand, and feel the heels be drawn toward the earth. Push through the hands, press yourself back, lengthen out those arms. Breathing in through the upper chest. Exhale to scoop the belly in. See if you can tilt that tail up a little bit higher. Maybe that means coming up on the balls of the feet. Inhale through the upper chest, push through those hands. Exhale to scoop the belly in, maybe tilting a little more, and then lowering those heels down, finding some integrity in this posture. 1 more nice big breath here, working our way up to standing. From laying down, looking between the thumbs, lift up the heels, walk ourselves toward the hands, coming into a forward fold shape. So we're just going to release in the hips, release the chest, release the hands, find a nice good bend in the knees. Find a lot of weight in the upper body and our torso, and just let the head hang heavy. Next, inhale, coming up to a half lift. So maybe up on our fingertips, sending our bums behind, sending our rib cage forward, or maybe bringing the hands to the shins. You can lengthen out the arms, press into the palms a little bit to peel the shoulders back, and find a tilt in the tail, find the rib cage being brought forward. So let's try it again. Inhale through the upper chest. Exhale to scoop the belly in and see if we can fold a little deeper. Find a little more room in the hip crease and in the low belly. Again, inhale a half lift, long spine. Exhale, belly in to fold. Inhale to rise, arms come up all the way. Nice tall, long stretch. Draw the hands in toward the heart center on the exhale. Big, tall stretch. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, coming into forward fold. Inhale, a half lift. Send the rib cage forward. Exhale, the belly in to fold deeply. Inhale, rise. Arms up, long, tall stretch. All the way up, reach. And exhale through the heart center. Let's take another nice, tall, long stretch. And exhale, hands to heart center. So finding ourselves in a mountain pose, I'm going to turn myself so I can see you a little bit better. You can see my structure as well. Bringing our feet hip width apart. So a good way to find our hips is just kind of poke around at yourself a little bit and find those heads of the hip bones. So we'll take the blades of the hands, find those hip bones, bring the blades of the hands just on the inside of those hip bones, point the fingertips down, and kind of close one eye and the other, and notice, find your peripheral vision a little bit. The fingertips should point roughly in the center of the feet, and that's pretty much hip width apart. You can notice me here. I really enjoy a little bit wider of a stance, so if you'd like to take a little wider, feel free to do that as well. I just feel a little more sturdy, a little more structurally sound. Or otherwise, you could also take the feet together. Some folks really like to have those feet together a little bit, so they feel a little more of a balance challenge perhaps. So I'm going to take my feet a little wider than hips. Let's close our eyes. Come into our own experience. Find a nice stance with the feet that you feel comfortable in. Let's take a little lean forward, maybe picking up the heels a little bit, and then a little lean back, maybe picking up the toes. Get a grip with the ground with the feet and kind of pull them away from each other. Use the grip of the mat or the grip of the ground and just pull them out, feeling the outsides of the legs really engage and find structure in the legs. So feeling the outer blades of the feet, feeling the balls of the feet as well, feeling that portion just below the big toe. So we feel a little secure. We feel the outside underneath the pinky toe. We feel 2 points in the heel. Feel the inside and the outside. Good. So we don't have to maintain that pull if we don't like to, but if you'd like to keep that effort and that engagement, feel free to do that. So we grip down and we pull the legs apart. So roughly bringing our hips over top of the ankles. Let's ease the kneecaps a little bit here if we didn't engage the legs and pull apart. Finding the shoulders over the hips and the ears over the shoulders. So maybe we find we lean forward a little bit with the neck and we're rolling the shoulders. Let's go ahead and peel ourselves back and find that nice, good structure in the spine. Beautiful. The ears over shoulders. And as we find that stacking, we should feel an ease through the low back. We should feel a good grounding through our legs and through our feet. And we should feel a little lightness in our upper rib cage, kind of like floating on top of our hips. Let's take an inhale through that upper chest to lift the rib cage higher than the hip bones. And then exhale just to relax the shoulders, relax the neck, and find that nice, good mountain pose. Maybe slightly turning the palms outward or toward the front of the mat or toward the front of your body if that feels nice. Soften the knees, ever so slightly. Maybe pick up those toes again. And just taking a few breaths in our mountain pose, feeling strong. Growing from the ground, lifting up to the sky. So we're feeling a sense of buoyancy, but also a sense of grounding and rooting through our toes and our feet and our legs. One more great big breath here. Just enjoy that powerful posture of our mountain pose. And on our next inhale, feeling that strong structure, lifting up through the rib cage, bring our arms up with us, over top of the head, lift. And then exhale, hands between our ribs, in our heart center. Inhale again, arms reach up really high. Let's link the fingers together, press our palms toward the sky. So we're just turning those palms up toward the sky. Press the palms up as high as we can. Lift into that upper chest. Breathe in. Exhale, we're going to hinge ourselves over to the right side. So just let those palms shine toward the right side on an angle. So really just shining through those palms to find length in the spine. Not so much focused on the curving of the side body, mostly that shining of those palms, finding length. Pressing into the outside of our right blade of our foot just to feel a little security, or just noticing that side. Inhale to press those palms. Exhale, perhaps finding a little bit more of a bend. Maybe looking down toward the edge of the foot. Let's do 2 more breaths here. Lengthen the spine. Rolling open the left shoulder. Press those palms. 1 more. Inhale. And maybe exhale, a little bend. Inhale back through the center. Turn those palms back into heart. Inhale, arms reach up tall. Exhale, soft knees, hinge the hips, and forward fold. Release the upper body, release the torso, and relax the head. Maybe shaking the head, no, and yes. Inhale, a halfway lift, fingertips or the palms to the shins. Exhale to fold. Inhale to rise, big, long, tall stretch. Arms reach all the way up over the head and hands down toward the heart center. Beautiful. Arms come back up to reach. Let's interlace the fingers, turn the palms toward the ceiling, toward the sky, wherever we ended up today. Inhale to lift the upper rib cage. Exhale over to the left side, so just the opposite side. Maybe we took the left first. That's okay. Shining through those palms, peeling open the right shoulder, shining the heart up as well. And just focusing on finding length through those palms. Inhale to push the palms. Exhale, perhaps finding a little bit of bend. Pushing onto the outside of the ridge of the left foot, or just focusing and noticing where it is. Inhale, press. Exhale, perhaps bend. Inhale, back toward the center. Turn the palms back in. Exhale, hands through the heart to the center of the chest. Beauty. Inhale, arms reach up. And forward fold, exhale. Inhale, a halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Inhale to rise, big, tall, long stretch. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's do a couple sun breaths. Opening up the arms, rotating the shoulders. And exhale through the heart. Inhale, one more, reaching up. And exhale through. Beautiful. Let's try a different sort of flexion to the side here. So bring your arms up really high here. Let's have a look at those fingertips. Reach up here. Lift the rib cage high on the inhale. Have a look at the right hand and exhale slowly. Watch the hand. Use the entire exhale, maybe an extra breath, to bring it all the way down by our side. Turning the palm in and just resting the hand on the outer portion of the right thigh. Let's inhale to lift the left hand up a little bit higher. And exhale, sliding the right hand down the right leg, curving over to the side. Keeping the left shoulder really open here and the left arm really long. Pressing onto the outer blade of the right foot. One more great big breath. Reach with the left fingertips. Let the right fingertips or right palm slide down. And then inhale, bring it back up. Watch the hand. Inhale. Exhale, hands through the heart center. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Hinge the hips, soften the knees. Inhale, a half lift or fingertips to the ground, hands to the shins, whatever you like. Exhale, belly in and fold. Inhale, rise, come all the way up, and we'll switch sides. Let's look up toward the left hand. Take an inhale to reach. Exhale to watch the hand fall. Maybe an extra breath if you need it. Nice and slow. All the way out. Turning the palm in, pressing it against our thigh. Inhale to lift up through the right fingertips. Exhale to bend over to the left side, pushing onto the outside or noticing the outer ridge of the left foot. Using our left hand as a little support here. Inhale to reach the right fingertips, nice long arm here. And exhale, perhaps sliding to the side a little more. One more, inhale, reach. Exhale, perhaps slide. And then inhale to come back up, watch the left hand. Use the whole inhale. Meet the palms above the head, exhale, hands through the chest. Heart center. Inhale, big sun breath. Exhale, forward fold, soft knees, hinge the hips. Take a moment to feel heavy here. Shake the head, no, no, no. And yes, yes, yes. Feel the weight of the arms. Maybe hold on to opposite elbows if that feels nice, adding a little extra weight. Soften the knees, maybe a little bit more to feel a little more release in the low back. Beautiful. Inhale, a half lift. Exhale to fold, belly in. Inhale, reach all the way up, big tall stretch. Exhale, hands through the heart center. I'm going to turn myself a little bit around here, bringing our feet to hip width apart. So if they are a little wider, let's bring them in a little more. If you need to find out where the hips are, reset yourself as you need to. We'll lift up our arms all the way, bringing our biceps in line with our ears, the inner portion of our arm in line with our ears. Let's go ahead and set the shoulder blades back, so we're kind of squeezing them together. So if you need to bend the elbows a little bit to squeeze them back, feel free to do that, reaching the fingertips high. And then we'll just start to sit back. Sit back into an invisible chair, or as if someone has just taken a chair away from us. So we're just about to take a comfortable seat. So we may find that our weight is a little bit more in the heels than it is in the toes, and that's perfect. So let's let the weight be distributed a little bit farther back and feel a little float in the toes, as if you could kind of wiggle them here. Good. Let's take another breath here. Nice long spine. So let's really bring those shoulder blades back to support and reach the fingertips. Maybe you find you're hinging a little bit more. Maybe you like to be in a nice high chair. So it's up to you how low you'd like to be. Send the tail behind you. Beautiful. Inhale to reach those fingertips. And exhale to fold right where we are. Release whatever there is to release. Maybe bend the knees, sway the hips, hold on to your opposite elbows, whatever you like to do in a fold. Beautiful, release the hands, inhale a half lift. Exhale to come all the way down, shift the weight a little into the heels and scoop the arms up. Go for your chair pose, go for your little sit. Bring the arms in line with the ears and then forward fold. Beauty, take one more breath here. We'll inhale a half lift. Exhale to fold, belly in. And inhale to rise all the way up, big tall stretch. Exhale, hands through the heart center and come down to that chair pose. Beautiful, feeling a little weight in our heels, a little more weight. A little lift in the toes, they just feel a little bit light. We were just about to take a seat. Send our hip bones back, feel length in the spine, feel lift in the rib cage. And then exhale to fold. Inhale a half lift. Exhale to fold deep. Inhale a full reach all the way up to the sky. Exhale, hands through the heart center. Beauty. So let's add just a little more to that chair pose. Lifting our arms up with us, big reach. Exhale, hands through the heart center. Come back into the chair, go for a little sit, keeping the hands in the heart instead of having our arms extended. Beautiful. Let's have a look over to the right shoulder. Just have a look at the shoulder. And then maybe bringing the outside of the left arm to the outside of the right leg. Pressing the palms toward each other. And if we find that this is not quite right for us, maybe our arm is not quite long enough on the left side, just open up those arms. Beautiful. Hands back to heart. Come back to the center and fold. Inhale a half lift. And exhale to fold deep. Inhale to reach up high, big tall stretch. Exhale, hands toward the chest. Beautiful. Let's go back into our chair pose. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands toward the chest. And come back into your chair. Wonderful. Look toward the left shoulder. And then maybe bringing the right arm on the outside of the left leg, making sure the knees stay parallel with each other at the front. So pressing into those palms to open the twist, or opening the arms wide if you find that you didn't quite have a good enough hook on the right side. Beautiful. Inhale back to center. Exhale to fold. Take a moment to wiggle it out. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows, maybe the nape of the neck, just allowing ourselves this nice fold. And let's add a little flow to our chair. So let's come up a half lift and exhale to fold. Inhale, arms all the way up, big tall stretch all the way up to the ceiling, and hands through the chest. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands through the chest, coming into a chair pose. Inhale, scooping the arms up, reach, and exhale into chair. Inhale to reach. Exhale into chair. Let's do 3 more. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Forward fold right where you are. Bend the knees so deeply that we can plant our palms down and step back into a downward dog. So big step back here. Press into the pads of the hands, the heels of the hands. Pedal out the knees. Bend the hips. Sway the hips. Bend the toes, whatever you like to do here. Let's do a little vinyasa flow to bring ourselves back up to standing. So let's come on back into our down dog. Press into those hands. Lengthen out the arms. Feel long in the backs of the legs. Beautiful. Inhale, come forward to a plank shape. Shoulders over wrists. Press the ground away. Maybe even coming a little beyond the wrist. Letting those outer portions of the shoulders being pulled toward the ground. And a little puff in the center of the spine. Beautiful. Exhale to bring yourself down to the belly. Unflip the toes. Push the ground away from you to come up into a back bend. And then exhale to come back down toward the ground. Tuck the toes. Come up and back to downward dog. Taking the right leg up and back. Bringing the knee toward the chest. Stepping the foot toward the hands. Let's go ahead and anchor through the left heel. Turn the foot out. Bend through the right knee. Come up into warrior one. So warrior one is really interesting. Sometimes you might find you want a little more space for the hips. So if we come up and our foot is more in the center and we feel like our hips are being pulled over to the left side, it might feel nice to wiggle the foot to even the outer portion of the right side of the mat and bending into the knee. Bringing the knee over top of the ankle, sending the hips more square toward the front of the mat. Lifting the arms up, a little bend in the elbows to pull the shoulder blades back. Press through the back heel. Let's find some engagement through the back leg. Let's feel a grip of the mat with our feet and kind of act like we're pulling them apart from each other. We're trying to rip the mat apart. So push the front foot forward and the back foot back. And we'll take 2 more breaths here in our powerful warrior one shape. Lifting the rib cage with the inhale. Scooping the belly in to create structure on the exhale. 1 more. Beautiful. Inhale last time. Exhale, turning ourselves into warrior two. So we're just going to open the arms to shoulder height, start to turn ourselves toward the long side of the mat, the left side, and wiggle the front foot in. Turn the back toes out ever so slightly. So now we're finding that we're either heel to heel or we're heel to the bridge or the middle of the back foot. Bring our arms to shoulder height. Sink the hips down. Find the front knee over the front ankle. Pull the back shoulder back. Opening up the chest and widening the hips toward the long side of the mat. Look beyond the right middle finger. Take another breath. Lifting the right hand up toward the ceiling, coming into a reverse warrior. Let the left hand just sort of rest, the fingertips dangle, reaching the right fingertips up toward the sky. Beautiful. So windmill our arms back down toward the ground to a lunge. So come all the way back down, stepping back to a downward dog. Press into the pads of the hands. Pedal the heels. And then we'll go ahead and lift our left leg up and back. Big reach. Exhale, knee toward the chest. Step that foot through toward the hands. Anchor through the back heel, so the right heel this time. Turn the toes out a little bit, bending through the front knee, bringing the arms all the way up, alongside the ears, and then notice what you need here. So maybe this feels good. Maybe we can push through the back heel and feel like our hips are pretty much square to the top of the mat. Maybe we'd like to wiggle out the left foot toward even the edge of the mat, and then turn the hips. Press into the back heel, the padded part of the foot. Bring the knee over the ankle in the front, and pull those shoulder blades back. Lift the rib cage on the inhale. Powerful in warrior one. 1 more, lifting the rib cage, bring the belly in, structure for the back, and then exhale, opening up to warrior two. So take a moment and notice where the feet are. Maybe we'd like to walk the front foot in a little bit more, finding it more in line with the edge of the middle of the back foot, or heel to heel. So bending through the front knee so it's over top of the ankle, bring the arms to shoulder height, and just take a moment here. Open up the back shoulder. If it starts to come forward, let's open up the back. So we have a nice wide, broad area that's faced to our long end of the mat. Looking beyond our left middle finger. Strong here, let the shoulders come down, lift the rib cage high. 1 more breath. Inhale through the upper rib cage. Lifting the ribcage away from the hips. Exhale, reverse warrior. Bring that left hand up to the sky. Relax the right hand, relax the right arm. Reach the left fingertips away from the body as much as we can. Take an inhale. And then exhale, windmilling those arms all the way back to the ground to our lunge shape. Stepping back to a downward dog. Pedaling out the heels, take a moment here. Beautiful. Let's look between our thumbs, hopper step to forward fold. Toward the hands. Feet about hip width apart. Inhale, a half lift. And exhale to fold. Inhale to rise. Bring those arms up, big, long, tall stretch. And exhale through the heart center. Let's do one more little challenging pose to add a little balance to our practice. So let's take a big breath in, up. Exhale, hands to heart. Bringing our feet hip width apart, arms come up and reach. And exhale, forward fold, let yourself go. Inhale, a half lift. Press into those palms if you like, bring the rib cage forward. Bring the belly in on the exhale and fold. Inhale to rise, big, long, tall stretch. Keep those fingertips up toward the ceiling, biceps in line with the ears. Shift our weight a little bit into the left foot and pick up the right knee to about a 90-degree angle. Lifting the fingertips, lifting the rib cage along with them. And then pointing our right toes, let's send our right foot back and allow our body to kind of hinge forward, coming into a warrior 3 shape. Bringing our arms alongside of our body and maybe interlacing the fingers to pull the chest open, pressing through the ball of the back foot, pressing through the ground to create a long leg in the left leg, and maybe dropping the right hip ever so slightly in line with the left hip. And notice a little more stretch in the back of the left leg. Beautiful. Let go of the hands. Bring the right knee back up. And then set the foot down. Woo. Sway ourselves back and forth. Go for a little walk, maybe along our yoga mat. Feel the difference in each side of the body, in our hips, in our knees, and our ankles. There's probably something to notice that's different. And then we'll come back to our mountain pose. Bringing the arms up with us, big, tall stretch. Exhale, hands through heart, go into a forward fold. Inhale, a half lift. And exhale to fold. Inhale, big, long, tall stretch. Keep those arms lifted above the crown, arms in line with the ears. Shift our weight into our right foot. Lift up our left knee to about a 90-degree. Lift the fingertips even higher to feel the ribcage lift alongside with them. Point the left toes, send the foot behind you, allow yourself to hinge forward. Release the arms alongside the body. Find the fingers behind ourselves, interlace those fingers, press the ground, reset yourself if you need to, press the ground away with the right foot, push through the back, ball of the foot in the left foot, hinge yourself forward. Feel the rib cage lift away from the hips and maybe bring that left hip down in line with the right, feeling a little more integrity in the back of the right leg. Beautiful. Knee comes back in, release the hands, release the foot. Go for a little walk. Bend the knees, walk into the toes and the ankles. Come back to the top of the mat, bring the arms up high, big lift. Exhale, hands through heart and fold all the way down. Let's take a few breaths here. Release the crown. Soften the knees. Feel weight in the arms and weight in the back. Bend the knees a little more to feel just a little more release. Beautiful. Coming up, a half lift. Stay here for 2 breaths. Maybe you prefer fingertips on the ground. Maybe you like the hands on the shins. Lengthening out the belly. Lifting the rib cage away from the hips. Send the tail behind you. Feel a long spine here. Maybe even look forward a little bit. Feel a little squeeze between the shoulder blades. Pull the shoulders away from the ears and just notice A little bit of squeeze. And exhale to fold all the way down. Relax the head, shake and nod. Beautiful. Coming up that half lift again. Let's stay at the half lift, bring the arms forward, biceps in line with the ears, add a little extra weight to the low back, press into the feet, and raise ourselves up. Reach the fingertips up high, and exhale, hands through heart center. Wonderful. I'm going to come back to face you here. Bring our arms up, big reach. Exhale, hands to heart. One more bend side to side, just to figure out a different way of doing it. So we've targeted higher and lower. We're just going to go sort of mid here. Bring the arms up with us. We're going to kiss the palms together and press the palms together as hard as you possibly can when they're up above the head. So you're going to feel a little bit of weakness through the arms. It feels like we should be able to press harder. So let's find ourselves in our nice mountain pose. Hips over top of the ankles, shoulders over top of the hips, reaching up, ears over top of the shoulders. Pressing through, feeling the inner line of the body. Press those palms together. I can't see if you're doing it. Only you know if you're doing it. So let's really press through. Reach the fingertips high, and then hinge over to the right side. Keeping notice of the outer blade of the right foot. Press those hands together. Feel the inner line being pulled toward each other. Everything on the outsides of the body, the whole perimeter, is being pulled into the core. Beauty. Inhale back toward the front. Release the arms. Shake the hands. Roll the shoulders. Beautiful. Arms come back up. Kiss the palms together, press them really, really hard. We're only going to do this for a couple breaths anyway. So let's reach the fingers high, press into those palms, lift, feel everything from the outside perimeter of the body being gathered in toward the center, and then hinge over to the left side. And just go as far as you like, taking one breath, press, press, press. Beautiful, back to center, press, gather, and then release the hands. Roll the shoulders. Bring out the hands. Do what you like to do here. Wonderful. Let's come back onto our backs. Let's bring our arms up with us, big reach. Hands through heart, go into a nice forward fold. Fold so deep that we can plant the palms, step back with our feet into our last downward dog. So let's just pedal out the feet a little bit. Bring the knees down with us, coming into an all-fours shape. Bringing the big toes to touch, and then gliding the hips back toward the heels, coming into a child's pose shape. So maybe this pose isn't quite as comfortable for you as it is for me. So maybe placing a blanket underneath the knees can create a lot more space in the knees. So you have a little more lift also in the hips, where you can come down a little lower. If we'd like to have the arms extended, feel free. If we'd like to wrap them around, you can do that. If our forehead doesn't quite meet the ground, we can bring something under it, something soft, or stack the fists or hands. And maybe a little wiggle or a little sway in the hips feels nice for you. In through the nose, out through the nose. Let's feel a little bit of expansion in the back of the body, maybe feeling a little bit of swelling of the breath. And we'll just take 3 more breaths here. Wonderful. When we feel we've met our 3 breaths, come up back onto our hands and our knees in a tabletop shape, and we'll just take a very slow round of cat-cow. Let's do 3 cat-cow rounds very slowly. Pressing the ground away, being very kind and gentle with the body into our cool down. So let's bring our tail up, drop the belly, pull the chest forward, press into the palms, lift the chin. And exhale, slowly bring the tail in, slowly round the spine, and slowly tuck the chin. And just a couple more, the tail slowly raises up. We let the belly drop, we pull the ground toward ourselves to curve up. And then coming back in on the exhale. One more time, lifting up the tail. Let the belly drop, pull the chest forward. And last time to round it back in. Tuck the chin. Coming back to a neutral spine on our inhale. Let's bring our knees to the side. Bring the soles of our feet to touch. Open up the knees nice and wide. We're just going to either take our fingers to the toes or to the ankles and just make circles. Nothing too complex here. Just kind of removing a little bit of tension. Breaking down this little circling just a little bit though, let's see if we can lean back and maybe send our pelvis forward. Can we send our belly button in toward the body and kind of imagine this rounding bowl shape? So holding onto the ankles or the toes, let the shoulders come forward and send our pubic bone forward, feeling a bowl shape. Feeling open in the shoulder blades as well if we have a little sling with our hands. And then drawing ourselves forward, see if we can imagine tilting that tail, tilting that pelvis back. So without leaning the heart too much forward, just kind of tilting it back, maybe even using the hands to pull back a little bit, to pull those elbows back. Good. One more time. Bring that pelvic bone forward, bring that pubic bone forward, roll it in. And then we'll draw some circles here. So let's attempt to tuck the tail back out as we draw ourselves back forward. And then attempt to bring ourselves into more of a bowl shape as we lean back. So one more time in this way, see if we can tilt the tail back, and then bring the pelvis forward. Beautiful. Let's go the other way. Go toward the other side, tilting the tail back, and rounding back forward, creating that bowl shape. Beautiful. Two more times. Tilting the tail back, and rounding the bowl. One more time, tilting the tail and rounding the bowl. Come back in our bowl and then tilt ourselves forward. Close our knees like a book. Let's go into our backs. Letting ourselves fall down onto our backs, maybe holding the backs of the knees to release down. Maybe we like to have those knees bent and have them tented toward each other. Maybe lengthening out the legs. So if we'd like to just lengthen out the legs for a moment, then bring the arms above the head, point the toes, find a nice long, long stretch. And let's begin and end with our banana shape. So let's take our feet over to the left side, really far over. Maybe we find we can go a little bit farther than before, crossing the right ankle over the left ankle. And then seeing where you'd like that upper chest to be or that upper portion of the body to be. Maybe we point the head toward the same direction, creating that big banana shape, holding onto the arms or the wrists so you have a little hook. And maybe we find we've curved just a little bit more than we did in the beginning, in our first banana. Really big breaths, in through the nose, out through the nose. Feel and notice how just by breathing and the intensity and amount of breath we take in creates the stretch in the body. So it's just about a nice passive stretch. And just enjoy that opening on the right side, the gathering on the left side. Let the right hip fall away from you. Maybe even pushing it away from you a little bit or rolling it away from you a little bit. Breathe in through the low belly as much as you can. Balloon the belly. Give your internal organs a little massage. And then exhale. Let's bring our crown back to the center. Uncross the ankles. Walk them toward the center. Big long stretch first. And then over to the right side. So walk those feet all the way over, maybe even a little farther than they were before, crossing the left ankle over the right ankle, and taking a moment to feel that sensation Perhaps bringing our crown of our head to point in that same direction, hooking the wrists or holding on to the fingers. And again, same thing here. Let's just create some weight. Find some release in the exhale. Find length in the left side, gathering in the right side, and maybe just pushing our left hip away from ourselves a little bit. Feeling a little more stretch in the low belly. Let's inhale through our belly, balloon breath. And exhale. And just notice that stretch just by breathing. We'll do one more here before we come into Shavasana. Beautiful. Next, inhale, let's bring our crown back. Walk the feet back over, bigger reach. And then exhale, bring our arms along our sides. Palms point up, thumbs roll out. Walk the feet as wide as you can. Let the toes point out, the heels point in. Just allow that nice opening in the shoulders and really nice opening in the hips. So we've kind of externally rotated those bones so we feel broadness in the hips and space in the pelvis. Again, if this doesn't feel nice, we can bend the knees, let the knees fall toward each other, and walk the feet wider. Notice the low back. See what you need here. Feel the weight of the body through the exhale, the magic of the exhale. We feel light in the whole top portion of our body, and we feel connection through the whole back of the body. Coming back to the beginning. Back to laying down. Back to the earth. Just allow our breath to flow easefully, sweetly, gently through the body. And I promise I'll bring you back in a few minutes after we've been through a beautiful Shavasana to integrate everything we've done this past hour. Staying exactly where we are, in the shape that our body chose to release in, trusting that our bodies chose this shape for a reason. Let's enjoy the next few breaths in stillness, with full awareness, feeling present in the body, noticing whatever there is to notice. And most importantly, take the time to feel whatever there is to feel. And then we'll just take our thumbs and drag our thumbs across the fingertips, back and forth. Notice the little reactions in the body, the little tickle on the fingers and the nerves. And then spreading our hands open really wide and our toes open really wide. Gathering the hands into fists and the feet into fists too. Squeeze as tight as you possibly can. Tight, tight, tight. And then release really wide. Bring the arms overhead, point our toes. Reach the toes away from the fingers away from the toes. Open the belly, pull the rib cage away from the hips. And exhale, let's roll ourselves over to the right side. Another really nostalgic, familiar shape. Lengthening out the left leg, pressing into the left palm to come back up. And we'll come into a nice, easy seat. Grabbing something to sit on if you'd like to for a moment. We'll just stay here to end our practice. So let's close the eyes, sit up nice and tall. I invite you to place one of your hands on your chest and one on your belly. Take a really big breath in, as full in as you can. And release in any way you like. My heart is at ease, knowing what's meant for me will not pass me by, and what passes me by was not meant for me. Let's bring our hands up, big sun breath together. Gathering our hands down to the center of the chest on the exhale. Thank yourself for this practice and this time that you spent just for you. The love and the light in me truly honors the love and the light in all of you. Namaste. Thank you so much. See you again soon.